Can you hear me, Gary?
Yes, good morning, Jay. How are you?
Good. You have a meeting at 11 today?
Well, it's a bit flexible, but yeah, sorry for the short notice. And so, yeah, so whatever you can do is appreciated, whatever you can do. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, no, it's not my sales meeting. It's a donor meeting. My meeting with this client, Solid Rock Realty, is next Tuesday, um, 1 o'clock, but would like to get some high level strategy from you. I have a outline sort of thing, but in
Okay.
terms of pricing and duration, also there could be an opportunity for you as the specialist on pain point selling. That's what I'm calling it, for the one or two people who are uh, recruiting agents over to their brokerage.
Okay. Do you have like a Google Doc or something or some?
I mean, I just have it in a Word for now. I can share it if that's what.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm a visual learner, so the better you can
Yeah.
show me something, the better I can anchor your offer and your proposal.
Thank you, sir.
And I just need a little bit more context. So I'll ask you more questions as I see fit.
Yes, I can. So, sorry. Yeah. So I'm a client. So just, just give me 1 second here. I'm on another webinar. So Jay, I need to take this for 2 minutes. Rogers has been on hold for an hour.
No worries.
Okay. So I'll share my screen. Is it sharing here, Jay?
Yep.
Okay. All right. So Rogers, yes. What do you need? Because I'm calling about a specific account number. Yes, it is. It is 5064.
Hey, Martha, how are you?
Good morning.
How's it going? I can't hear you that well, but I can hear you a little bit.
Uh,
I somehow I can't hear your audio very well. Can you speak into your mic, Martha?
I don't have an earpiece. Can you hear me better now?
Oh, much better. Yeah,
Okay, that was my fault.
that's okay. Okay, so I'm gonna be helping Gary in just a moment. He's trying to put a proposal together, but let me just introduce the time here. So everyone, welcome to our Serve to Sell School Masterclass, where we talk about anything to do with lead generation and closing sales, and other AMA, which is Ask Me Anything live Q&A. So today is December the 2nd, 2025. So we are in our last month of the year. So we want to finish strong. And typically, a lot of businesses and people will close down for the holidays around the midpoint, which is December the 15th mark. So just be aware of that in terms of your sales cycle. Um, in as real as that may sound, a lot of people that I've worked with, clients and agencies, um, even though the month is shorter and maybe even half, make most, if not a good portion of the revenue from the last month or two. So don't fall into the trap that you think that people are not going to buy or not available. When the pain is high enough and the need is great enough, then you can keep making sales, especially when you pinpoint that and then you have market message resonance, product market fit, to be able to handle the solution or deliver the solution that they're looking to solve. So Gary is on another call right now. So Martha, just share your wins and learns and your biggest challenges, and let me see how I can help you.
Last week, I actually do not have any, because I didn't do any reach out last week. So
How
no
come?
wins for me, no challenges.
How come you didn't do any reach out?
The last week wasn't a good week for me.
Okay. Are you talking about your knee?
Yeah,
Okay.
I had a long Thanksgiving weekend, so I was doing my exercises. I was doing okay until I went back to work yesterday. Oh.
Okay. Yeah. So I mean, the reality is, and there's all sorts of different kinds of mentors and coaches. I've been in teams where they'd be like, you know, micromanaging and screaming down my throat of like, if especially if I was on their team, which I was, they're like, and I'll give you examples. And I've also put people that were in my team into other teams. One guy in particular became the top high ticket closer within less than 30 days, but he had like a guy that was, you know,
Sorry about that, Jay.
no worries. I'm just talking with Martha right now, so just wait your turn if you don't mind. And then, so what happened was he ended up being the top closer. They were doing about $1 to $1.5 million a month, and even though he was the top closer, the founder was screaming at him and the team because he was like, not enough, whoosh, right? So there's that kind of like accountability where people will like, you know, really bring the heat, and that's what, and because they're on the team, they're expected to do a certain KPI, daily KPI, and that's how they get results. That's how they get 1.52 million dollar months. So there's that kind of leadership, and then there's the kind of leadership that says the opposite, polarizing. Oh, no worries, Martha. That's okay. Your knee is more important, and your health is more important, and they coddle you. I don't know if any of those extremes are good, but in the middle of the row is a hybrid where it says, well, I mean, uh, sorry to hear about your knee, empathizing. Obviously, you had a really good time with your family, friends, whoever it was that you spent with Thanksgiving. So glad you're able to do that. You're rest and relaxed. And then, let's not take our foot off the gas pedal, right? So, I mean, we're here to win and learn. Clearly, the reality is we're not getting any clients because we took our foot off the gas pedal, right? Just like, I coached a volleyball team yesterday that, I mean, really should have been not able to enter the tournament, be last place, right? But we worked very, very, very hard to get them to is only a third place, but they would have easily been last because they couldn't even serve over the net. I mean, they were really, really, really bad, right? So I could say third place sucks, right, and be negative, but without that coaching, they would have had no chance. So back to Martha, like, it's important to keep that consistency. However, um, so moving forward, let me just put future pacing, is your future is dependent on you, right? So unless you're like on a deathbed or like, you're debilitated where you can't do anything, which might be the case. I mean, there's not much you can do, but it doesn't change your current um, income. It doesn't change your future possibilities. It doesn't change the fact that you don't like your job and don't like the people that you work with, at least not all of them. So it's got to hurt enough that the desire to change is going to be resulted in the daily commitment for the actions that you take. Does that make sense? So the point that I'm trying to say is like, one of my mentors, was saying, because I was, struggling with a sales slump and not getting, more clients, all this stuff. And then he said, how many offers have you made in the last month to people? How many reach outs have you done? And then I said, zero. And he goes, how do you expect to make more sales without making any offers? It was a simple accountability. And so then I started doing outreach, every single day. I think it was only 10. And then I got at least 2 clients within that first week or two. Right? So what is your thought on that, Martha?
I mean, you're right, but when it comes to the new business that I just set up, like I said, I can't do anything. I can't take any clients right now until my knees fully recovered
Okay.
because houses are like upstairs, downstairs.
Yeah.
I can
Okay.
do a lot of that even at work.
Okay.
There's a
So
machine that I use to go around.
okay. So we already know that your knee problem is a very serious issue. It's a reality, right?
Yeah.
How you started the conversation from my question on how you want to change your future started with a reality, which is actually a negative reality, right? It is truth, but it is negative. So the mindset shift is, okay, we know this is a problem, and it's been a situation for the last, let's say month that we've been working together.
Mm.
Um, we've also talked about different possibilities. So a a business owner, a problem solver, a person who is cash flowing income will always have an answer, not a problem. Does that make sense? And you're leading with a problem. So I want to change your sales psychology and your buyer mind, your owner mindset shift to not the problem, but the solution. So what is a solution versus the problem? Because you said I can't. That's how you started. I can't. I can't. I can't. So it's like me coaching a volleyball person, and they said to me, I can't serve. I'm like, whether you believe you can or you cannot, you're right. That's Henry Ford, right? So when I actually showed her, because it's not like, hey, you just got to serve, and that's not going to help her. I actually showed her and took her to the side and showed her the way that you're holding the ball, the way that you ball, the way the trajectory on which you're following through. Those three things are not in the correct KPIs. And then next thing you know, she was able to serve almost 100% of the time. So it's not I can't serve or I can't play. It's I can. I just don't know how to and what to do. So I want you to rephrase what is the solution or what is the alternative for you to change your outcome.
I know the alternative is like hiring somebody else, but for me personally, to start, I want to do it by myself.
Okay. So
Mhm.
you said the positive and then you went to but again. That's the negative, right? So,
I want to do it by myself. The only person that I know that I can probably hire, I wouldn't be able to make it like if I were to start in the morning.
say that one more time.
Because
The only person that you're going to be able to hire is going to be able to start in the morning. Is that what you said?
won't be able to start in the morning.
Okay. So
Yeah.
then you find clients that would be able to do it in the afternoon or evening or weekends.
The thing is, I don't want to do weekends. I want to do like a Monday to Friday.
Okay. So
Yeah.
there's a lot of ifs and buts and can'ts.
Monday to Friday. The thing is, that person has a child. So if the child comes off of school, she has to be with the child. So she has a job, which is in the morning.
Okay.
And when the child leaves school, she has to go pick up the child and then, you know,
Okay.
everything
So let me
else.
just stop you right there just for a second. So that's a reality, that's a truth. So as a business owner and problem solver, right? If I was in your shoes, I'd be thinking, okay, that's the person that would be, the person that could do it, but they're not available physically. So they cannot do the job. And then
Mhm.
you also said that I don't want to work weekends, or is that what you said? I only want to work
Yes.
Monday to Friday. But the thing is, you're not doing the work. So I don't know why you're limiting yourself to only Monday to Friday.
You said I'm not doing the work
Yeah, if
and
you
I'm
if you have
limiting
someone,
myself.
if your knees are shot, you can't do the work anyways. And if you hire someone,
Yeah,
it
yeah.
doesn't matter which day they do it.
The thing is, I don't want to start something and then have to change it. So I want to start off with Monday to Friday and just stick with it.
Okay, I don't agree with you, and that's okay. But it's almost like you're waiting for this perfect storm or perfect opportunity, perfect timing, right?
No, it's just my knee. That's just my knee.
Your knee.
Yep.
Okay, you're
I'm not
focusing on the
waiting
pain
for
again.
perfect timing because I know I do have a few people that are ready to work with me when I'm ready. And I can't be ready when I'm having knee pain. I
Okay,
can't.
so the business is dependent on your knee, and let's say your knee's not good for 6 months.
It'll get better because it was worse than what it is right now. I took like, I don't know, 2, 3 days a few weeks ago, like a month ago, just to rest it.
How long have you been dealing with your knee problem?
It started gradually, like 2 months ago,
Okay.
or about 2 months ago. And I was wearing a sleeve, and I think the sleeve made it worse. So I start wearing the sleeve. It'll get better.
Okay. So the thing is with our health, nobody knows. you're making assumptions, right? And so I'm not trying to be hard on you, and whatever. I'm just trying to be objective with you. Um, and without going into the weeds too much, I want to stay at the let's look at this objectively. So the reality is, um, I believe that you want to line things up so that they fit in your reality or your box or your truth, right? And the reality and truth of business is not always neat, right? I'm not saying we shouldn't be disorganized and we should launch, without knowing and having a plan. I'm not saying that. I'm saying have a plan, but also have, you know, um, solutions to the reason why I'm saying this is I try to hope for the best, but expect the worst. So again, I don't wish this upon you or anyone else, but let's say your knee or your health is not good for 6 to 12 months. So that means your business is not starting because of that. You said, if my knee's not good, I can't do this. So anyways, think about other people who may be able to do the job Monday to Friday that don't have a child and that can do the work. And so even the person that you're talking about right now, that is maybe the only one that you trust, you may find out, and again, I don't hope this to be true, that they're not trustworthy or they betray you. That happens too with some of the closest people and family and friends.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why, you know, when you do hire, it's important to have um, character over talent, hunger over intelligence, but having all those things is wonderful, right? I have one appointment setter, who his character is higher than his talent, but his talent has caught up to his character, and he's amazing. So I'm gonna be giving him and opening opportunities for him because of that, and he's shown and earned my trust over time, and he's been consistent every single day. So anyhow, think about that, because long story short, um, you may be sabotaging your own future by waiting for the right time. Does that make sense?
I, I'm not waiting for the right time. There's no right time. I don't know.
Okay, but I'm just saying, from the sounds of it, you don't. It doesn't sound like you're going to be able to start soon. You like, for example, um, there hasn't been much movement except for the very beginning where you started the business, which is the LLC. So I gave you encouragement and congratulations and all that, and then the momentum shifted. It didn't. It's there's no movement. There's no momentum, right? And then there's the thing of like your knee pain, and then the person that you want but they're not available. Like, I'm a futurist, so I see the future in the present. So when do you see this happening? Because like we're already in December, which means it's probably in correct me if I'm wrong. It's probably not going to happen till the new year, right? And then when do you foresee
Yeah,
it
that
happening?
was my plan. Like I said, I was giving myself 3 to 4 weeks. So I don't know. The question is, if I already registered my LLC, what will happen like January? Like, because I've never registered an LLC before.
Hmm.
So I don't even know, like, if I haven't done anything, haven't done any work, what will happen?
If you haven't done any work, what will happen?
Hmm.
You mean like if you haven't
If
done
I
any
haven't had
outreach?
any business, like, what will happen? Like, in terms of taxes and so.
Well, I don't know about in the States, but here in Canada, unless you make over $30,000, which is not going to be happening, right, in the next month or two, there is no, at least in Canada, we don't need to file. And Gary, maybe you can correct me if I'm wrong. Um, what was it like? I put this in the chat, in the group chat. If it's $30,000 or less, um, the government doesn't really count that as a business yet. So there's no either there's no work or not much work we need to do. What happens if a new business
Okay.
makes less than 30,000? Do I need to pay taxes? Okay. So again, this is okay. Let me see what it says in the States, in the U.S. Okay, so it's different in the States. If you have a net earning of $400 or more, you are obligated to do a tax return, self-employment tax.
Okay.
So I mean that's normal protocol for any business. So what is the concern that you have to pay taxes?
No,
Okay.
that's not a concern. Because if I'm not making any income, like,
Oh yeah, if you're not making
I'm
any
not,
income, then you don't pay
yeah,
anything. Zero, zero of zero, zero, right?
yeah,
Okay. So I mean, your accountability encouragement is, I mean, to do the work, to do the outreach, and then figure out a solution to your health and the person that will be helping you. Because if it's dependent on your health, best case scenario is your health gets better in the next month, right? And then you can start doing it. The
yeah,
worst case scenario is that your knee acts up again, and then it affects your business. So I think it'd be wise to have a person working with you because the knee can literally sabotage your business, right?
yeah.
Okay, so let me go to.
Wait
Do
until
you
I
have any
completely
questions?
heal.
Do you have any questions, Martha?
No.
Okay. So what's your I guess the most important part is what's your plan of action then? Because I mean, we can keep meeting and whatever, but what I want to see is growth and progress and results. What's your action step? What's your next steps?
In terms of this LLC that I just registered, I don't have none.
You don't have an action plan?
Mm-mm. No, I'm just being honest.
So you're not going to do anything between now and January?
I'm not sure. Maybe I
What?
can feel different next week or even before Christmas. Because really what I was thinking, because the holidays come in, maybe after Christmas, people will need help more with cleaning.
Yeah, 100%.
And after Christmas, after New Year's, that is actually what I was hoping for. But I
So
cannot change the fact that my knee is like up and down, up and down. That's really what it's not that I'm ambitious. I'm very ambitious and I was optimistic about me starting it, just like you said. But then I was thinking even before December, before the end of, even before, right after when I was registering, I was thinking maybe before Christmas, people will need help cleaning before the holidays, after the family gatherings or after the events and stuff like that.
I would say even before, because
Yeah,
they're
that
this
was what
this
I was thinking
because
before
it's a very very busy season, and they have family and friends and workers coming to their house,
coming over. Yeah,
and they want it to be they want it to look clean, right?
yeah.
And another thing, because you said what I heard you say, you're not really doing anything, or you don't know what to do between now and January, and then January you want to start reaching out to people who need help. I would suggest, or why don't you get people to sign on with you for the new year? I mean, I don't know if you can do anything before that, like during the Christmas season. So I'm not going to assume. If you can do it during the Christmas season, like in, let's say, 2 weeks, right? When people are celebrating,
Hmm.
if and when your knee is better, then you can make money, you can get clients. Again, everything's dependent on your health, which is why I would have someone doing it for me. Okay, let me just share what I would do, because just for time's sake and brevity's sake, I usually try to extract it out of you, but for time's sake, I just want to save the pain and the fast forward the time. So if I was in your shoes, what I would do is I would find, um, let's say, three people who are interested in cleaning for me. I would probably pay them, let's say, minimum wage, okay, and then I would get, let's say, I would get three clients within the next 30 days. At least that would be my goal, okay? And then what I would do is I would take each of those three people working for me on the job to clean those homes. And then because my knee is hurting, I can't do the work, so I'll be on site to help watch them, quality assurance. And then obviously you got to recruit them and do the interview process, and maybe do a test where they clean your apartment or whatever wherever you are, clean a space, or you do like a little test to see how well they do, and put them through the pressure cooker. And then from there, if they pass, I would take them onto the three job sites that are paid, and I would give them minimum wage or whatever the cut is. You got to figure out a pricing structure. And then from there, I would tell them, I'm going to take three of you on three projects, and I'm only going to take the top one until my calendar is full. And if you are still very good, then I can give you more work. So I would have them kind of, it's like competing against each other in terms of the quality, so they know that they're not the only choice. I would get three clients in the next 30 days. I would do the work with them on site, and then I would correct them. Hey, you missed a spot, or here we could do better, or here we want to do a deep clean on the floors, or the mopping, or the windows, or the glass, or the toilet, or the vacuuming, right? And then just course correct them, and then see how well they respond to you in real time. They're like, no, no, I got it. Everything's good. If they do that, and I've given them as the business owner the feedback to say, hey, you miss a spot, or we can do better here. If I have any of that kind of pushback, unless it was warranted, I'd be like, hey, don't call us, we'll call you. Because I want to work with people that are, A-list players, and people who are coachable and hungry and willing to learn. Right? I'll always take hunger over talent, character over, intelligence. Okay. So that's how I would get three clients, three jobs. And let's say out of those three jobs, one of them is the best. And then through that three jobs, you get like maybe one referral. So you get another job. And then from there, it's not dependent on your knee, because that knee, who knows? I mean, you might be good for a week, and then you start the job, and then during the job, your knee gives out, right? We don't know. Only the Lord knows, right? So I don't want my business to be dependent on my health and my knee situation, which may or may not be in a good position. Does that make sense?
That makes sense.
Any questions, thoughts?
But also in my research, I found out like there's platforms where you can find people to work for me or with me, since I don't have a lot of close friends anymore,
Hmm.
or people that I think that I know that I can trust. So I know that there are platforms.
Yeah, there's lots.
And if I were to hire those people,
Yeah.
you know, how can I consistently like um have job for them or work for them that they can do for eight
You
hours?
won't at first. You won't at
Huh?
first. You won't have consistent jobs for them at first. So that's why you got to set the expectation, manage the expectation, saying, "Hey, I'm just starting a new business. I'm looking to, look for contract workers. So right now it's going to be, one job or one project at a time. So it's going to be
Oh, okay.
sparse. And then once I fill my calendar, out of the three people that I'm going to be working with, I'm going to take, you know, the top cleaner, right? So that
Mm.
I can work with the best people, right? And then my goal is that we have a long-term play, and that you become, one of my team members, and then I can, give you the hours and the money that you're looking to earn. And so you're also projecting the future and saying, hey, this is not just a one-time job or like a, twice a month thing. I want to be able to give you at least a 10-hour job a week within the first, month. or whatever. And then after, and have a phase. Like phase one is, I want to give you 10 hours a week so you can earn part-time income at X amount of dollars, let's say $15, $20 an hour, whatever minimum wage is. And then after that first month, as I bring more clients, and the goal is to be able to double that to give you half-time hours, 20. But then I would also say, how much time do you have to work with me? And they would say something like, well, right now I have 10 hours and I'm willing to do 20 hours the month after that. And I know that if I like it and the pay is better than it's the same as what I'm making, but it's something I enjoy because I don't like working with people, and cleaning is something I can do in my own time. I'd rather work for you full time, 40 hours in my own quiet space because my mental health is more important. That's when you know you have the right person on the team.
Okay.
So you're managing the people just like you're at the high school, but it's your dream team and you get to call the shots. Right. And then I would say there's a 3 strikeout policy, meaning I'm going to give you 3 opportunities. If you're not able to course correct, you're out. But I think three is a good number where I'll give you those feedback points, the loops, as to what I said and what I asked you to do and you didn't do, and I'd be asking, why didn't you do that? Kind of like what I'm doing right now, right? Why didn't you do the work? Why didn't you do the outreach? Why didn't you blah, 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 right? So in some sense, I could say to my clients, 3 strikes, you're out, and say, you can be paying me, but it's not worth it for my time and energy and bandwidth because I want my clients to grow and get results, right? I don't like working with clients that don't get results. And then the clients should be like, we want these results more than you, Jay. That's why we hired you. I'm like, then show me that. Then show me then the action.
Okay.
So I'll give you one last example. I had one guy who was really, really down and out. I think I mentioned this to you, Martha. And I gave him a simple task. He said he could do it that same night. It's been 8 days and he hasn't gotten back to me. And then when he responds back to me, I think he sleeps all day, honestly, till like 2 or 3 p.m. Okay. I said, listen, if you don't get back to me, I gave him three warnings within 8 days just to get back to me on something that he wanted to do. And he didn't get back to me on a single thing. He goes, oh, I got family stuff. Oh, I got personal stuff. Oh, I didn't have my phone cord, so I had to go buy it. Like all these different excuses. And I'm like, listen, if you don't get back to me by tomorrow, end of day, with the simple thing that I asked you to do for the thing that you wanted to do to help you change your business, your income, and he's in dire straits, then let's just call it a day. Because clearly, this is not working out and I'm going to disconnect, but let's remain friends. He didn't get back to me.
Wow.
Right? So I disengaged, I disconnected. I'm like, hey, let's just remain friends, right? No harm, no foul. And so that's a client that I fired because I'm like, I can't work with people that don't do the work. Okay, so that's it. We're at the 34-minute mark. Gary, if you're still there, I'm going to have you go through your proposal. Are you still there, Gary? I can't see you anymore.
He's muted.
Okay, Gary, can you unmute? Let me just see where you are. I don't see your video. I can't hear you. Gary Gradley. Calling on Gary Gradley. Ask to unmute. The problem is with the video, I don't know if he's even at his computer.
Maybe he had to get up and
Yeah.
do something. He'll be back.
You there? Okay, so what I want you to do is I want you to have a plan, Martha, and have an action behind it, okay, based on what I shared.
Yeah.
Okay. Gary, you around?
I am ready.
Okay. So,
I share my screen?
yeah, it's still sharing. It's been sharing the whole time.
Oh, sorry about that.
That's okay.
My apologies.
No worries.
All righty. Do you have any context setting questions to start?
Okay, so give it a little bit of context, and then
Yep.
and then tell me what what you need help in.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, so context is, so yeah, this is the realtor in Ottawa we worked with for 90 days. We increased their leadership team performance by 67%. They reported also a 16% increase in sales, even though we didn't have any direct influence. And they're now going to be profitable this year for the first time in decades, years anyway. So they're inspired.
Well,
I had a good
first of
testimonial.
all, that's a
Yeah.
huge congratulations. That's impressive.
Yeah, and so the coaching's gone really well. One of the guys gave me a really good written testimonial, which I shared with the leaders, decision makers. So next Tuesday, Ken, the owner, and Gina, the general manager, I'm meeting with them, and they know I'm going to present. So these growth recommendations for 2026 to continue the progress of the team clarity and unity and the KPIs. They're focused on KPIs, which are good for key areas of recruiting, coaching, uh, Gina for leadership, and the growth for profitability. And so they clearly said that the coaching and recruiting are still areas for significant growth is improvement is required. Um, so yeah, do you want me to start walking through? So this is a
Yep.
recommendation, probably for 6 months, could be a year, but I want to get your feedback on that. Um, do you want me to start walking through this, or do you have any clarifying questions?
Okay, so yeah, you can walk through it. Yeah.
Okay, and so this would be similar to what we did this last 90 days. I was in person for a day, so same idea, a strong kickoff session, set them up for their corporate individual goals, KPIs, etc. So the motivational part of that, and then develop some new crisp, innovative strategies to focus on, like laser focus, to increase performance in Q1 and Q2. And specifically because they want to help the recruiting side, which is Kyle, and the coaching side, with is Sherry, for influencing, selling, and closing skills development, especially for the recruiting side with Kyle, because this is where you're recruiting agents from other brokerages, right? So it's a big move decision. And then suggesting here that there's power in me supporting this on a consistent monthly basis to keep you focused and on track, because they're not doing it on themselves, really.
Okay.
Uh,
Just pause for a second if you don't mind. There's two ands there grammatically in that paragraph. You see it
yeah,
squiggly
thank
red.
you.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you.
I want to make sure
Okay.
that's right. Okay, good. Keep going. Yeah.
So yeah, so just the overall benefit statements are there. Then I break them down and more specifically. So I don't need to go into detail with you unless you
Yeah.
prefer.
Yeah.
But anyway, so it'll be a full process.
Yeah.
I do have, let me just jump to EOS. What's your familiarity with
Yes.
the entrepreneurial operating system?
I've heard
Um,
very good things about it. It basically puts a whole business system into the company, right?
so what I'm thinking about using is boring because it's expensive to, so there are some tools you can use yourself and some of the process and strategies. So I think it makes sense to implement some of those and some of this. So anyway, I just was curious if you had any high level feedback on that.
Yeah, I don't know in detail, but I just heard it's been widely used
Yeah.
in companies who want to grow and scale to track and to monitor and to measure. I was talking to another, I don't know if it was a client or another person that had used it for number of years and then modified it to make it even better. I can't remember honestly who that was and what they were doing, but it was to do with leadership and growth and profitability. So yeah, but I've heard only good things.
Okay. Good. Thank you, sir. Okay. So
And
this is,
have you heard of Profit First?
no, what is that?
It's a book that might supplement what you want to do with profitability. It's a book called Profit First. I got it on Audible,
Thank
um,
you.
and it can sound like a boring kind of a thing without just trying to sound too crass, but
Yep.
I found it to be very helpful. Mike Lauch, Mike here. See this?
The author. Yep.
Profit
A
First.
profit first. Yep. Profit. Okay. Good. So I can't, it's kind of blurry. What's his author's name? Mike what?
Um, Mike McCowlich,
Yep.
MichalowicZ.
Thank you. Okay. I will check that out as well. And the book that this EOS is from is Traction
Okay,
by Gino Wickman.
okay. I'm gonna write that down as well.
Traction.
Traction by Gino.
Yeah, I have a number of people who are using it and have talked highly about it. So anyway, I'm going to pull some processes from there. Uh, but beyond that, in terms of the sort of the systematizing their business a bit more, their key focus is developing the skills of the recruiter and of the coach. And so as such, so this is where I'm calling. So yeah, increasing the persuasion, so influencing, like there's the doctor, what's his name? The persuasion expert, Ch Cialdini. Have you heard of him, Dr. Cialdini?
What's his first name?
I can't remember at the moment.
Cialdini?
Yeah. So he's considered the expert on influence, and he has a number of books out.
Sounds very
The
familiar.
key principles, which you probably already using. Um, I don't have that right in
What's his
front of me.
specialty in?
What's that?
What's his specialty in?
Persuasion and influence principles. Yeah, that's his expertise,
Oh,
influence.
Cialdini. Cialdini.
Yes.
His first name is. Yeah, I'm familiar with him.
Hmm.
That's his name.
Okay.
Oh, Robert Cialdini.
Okay. Good. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
So, and then this, and so so this Kyle, the recruiting guy, wants to, what I'm calling pain point selling strategy skills. And so my current thinking is this, that I would deliver what I've learned from you, including other coaches, in terms of, the six-figure, strategy sales call.
Yeah.
But also give them an option to bring you in
Uh-huh.
for a customized session.
Nice.
And so high level, we can talk about this offline if you prefer, but just wondering high level what your pricing would be for probably a half day session.
Half day meaning 4 hours.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. There's a lot of depends.
Yep.
But I know that when I talked to one of my coaches, where is it? Here, high ticket coach. I don't know if I mentioned this to you. I can't remember who's in what masterclass. Um, this is high ticket coach by what's his name? Scott Whitaker.
Oh, yes.
He's actually a person of faith, and he created with Nelson Searcy, one of the largest Christian publishing authors, a pastor's resource that became the most successful digital marketing program for pastors. I think they had 25,000 or something. I can't remember how many, but what he recommended to me was charging, was it a 15K for a day session, whatever. So I don't know. Again, I'm willing to negotiate as long as it's what's the word? As long as it's a win-win
Yeah.
for you and your client. So yeah, I'd be willing to work with, like, if they can bring in, like, let's say double income, right? And I would have to look at the numbers. That's why it's important to look at the numbers. Let's say do you know what their revenue is?
Yeah, I do know. It's about 100,000 per month, so about 1.2 million.
Okay, and how many people are on the team?
Well, I mean, they have 112 agents, and they have, sort of a dozen people in office positions, which are on salary.
Okay,
The
so
rest are agents, commission. Yeah.
112 agents. So you're saying combined with that whole team, they're making 100K a month?
Yes.
Is that in sales?
No, that would be in, revenue from the sales, like brokerage commission from
Oh,
sales.
oh, okay. So I mean, okay, so long, like, just to keep it high level, like, if I can help them, you know, step up to 150, 200K, then we look at, what's the best financial model. It could be a percentage. Like, for example, if it's like, so I'll give you my rates. So typically I charge my VIP clients 2,500 bucks an hour, right? So if they get me every single week, that's $10,000 for the month plus 10% rev share. So let's say I help them go from $100,000 to $200,000, right? That's an increase of 100,000. So of that increase of 100,000, their baseline is 100,000. I help them increase another 100,000. I take 10% of the 100,000, which is a $10,000 commission.
Nice.
Which is nice because I'm on your team. That means I'm going to work with less clients because I want to get you guys to $1 million a month.
Yes, the client to $1 million per month, or
Correct.
yourself to $1 million per month.
No, them, and then I just take a tenth of that, right?
Yep. Okay.
So my model is they take 90%, I take 10-ish. Again, it depends on the profitability margins and stuff like that. But generally speaking, and that's a very subjective point, is how I work.
Okay. So
But I'm
that
willing to
might be
work with
tricky
you.
if we're
I'm
both
willing to
working with the
work with you
client
in
in terms
tandem in
of.
partnership to make sure that it's profitable and it's a win-win.
Okay. So let's talk more on that later.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So and then this other the Sherry, the other business development coach for the existing agents. Most of them are newer agents, and so I'm going to work on some stuff with her, mostly in terms of increasing the belief and confidence and vision and clarity of these agents for 2026 goals and therefore to increase sales. So anyway, and then there's a whole sustainability piece, and I'll coach Gina and Ken also as the office manager. So in terms of last time it was 90 days um, with 4 coaching sessions per month for 3 months, and the kickoff session and a virtual follow-up session. So that was half price at $4,000. So if we just double that and for 6 months, not 3 months, so I'm thinking around 10,000 would be appropriate and not as discounted, and they would still see it as value. Um, and so I'd probably offer 6 months versus the full year just to make it an easier decision for them, and we can always revisit at the end of 6 months to continue. So any input on that strategy, please?
100%. Okay, so I thank you for sharing that, and I like it a lot. And the fact that the fact that you're getting them impressive results, leadership performance increased by 67%, 16% increase in sales, whether that was directly or indirectly through you. I mean, it just looks good on you, which is great. So I would just kind of use that as, hey, the numbers don't lie, um, and just attribute saying, you guys are just leveling up in every area, right? And like you said, I would go to the pain point saying, and if you have the numbers, you can say in the last 10 years, you guys have been in the red, 53,000, year one, 26,000, 80,000, 120,000. Like, so you've been in the red for like, let's say 9, 10 years. And that's been a negative, 1.6 million or whatever. Again, whatever that accumulation is, if you have the data, if you have the numbers, I go back to that and say,
Yep.
it's not working for you guys. This is the first time, like you, and I'm taking your words, that you have been profitable in like a decade. Like, what is that worth to be in the positive? What is that worth to be in, cash flow? And then if I had the numbers, and if you have the numbers, I'd say, after working for the last 3 months, right? You guys have been cash positive, let's say, I don't know, 100 or 57,
Yeah,
whatever
the
the number.
goal is 100,000 profit by the end of this year. They'll be very close. They're on it right now.
Okay,
They're
so
on
then
it.
I would say that it's basically like financial reporting, right? So we had a church general meeting last night, annual general meeting at our church, and they say, we are like $1.2 million in our budget, and this is the first time in 10 years we've been cash positive, blah blah. Like that's a current reality of like, wow, that's amazing. And with the growing in our church, and I'll switch back to you, because we've doubled in size in the last 5 years, we have growing needs to hire more staff, because now we have so many children without any leaders or any Sunday school, whatever, and children's pastor and youth pastor. Like, we are hiring like crazy because we're trying to meet the need. We're not trying to build it and they come. We are actually growing, and we're trying to meet the needs so that we can continue to grow. That's kind of like the current state of affairs is you guys are growing, you guys, and then whatever their goal is to want to get to either each agent have a scorecard maybe that says, do you really need another, and I remember you mentioned way back how many they wanted to grow to. So let's say they wanted to get 500 agents in 5 years, right? I'd kind of challenge them and say, we already have 112, and the current state of affairs is they're not, and if you have numbers, they're not performing at the level that they need to. So why don't we really refine the process so that we get 100 A-list players, and then they're performing at, they want to be making, or sorry, selling or whatever, a quota of X amount per month, which will increase their month over month by 30%. And year over year, it'd be this amount. So without even trying to, get more people, because I think you had the conversation where I think they were burnt out. They were wondering if they're going to go bankrupt and all this stuff, right? Let's not make things complex. Let's make things simpler. And the way that you grow and scale is by subtracting, which is opposite of what everyone thinks, right? So let's say out of 112 agents, you actually refine it to 50, right? And the other, 72 or whatever the math is, they're not serious.
Yeah, so they are recruiting more quality agents. They're not taking anybody anymore. So let me ask a related question, if I may. You may have some strategies.
Yeah.
So the coaching person, Sherry, she gets paid because these people, she only has 10 now that are paying out of their commissions or however they pay. And obviously they want to double that to have 20 people. So to inspire. And when agents come on, that they probably don't want to pay for the coaching unless they really need it or they're brand new. So my question is, what thoughts would you have? And yes, you could include 3 months. A new agent comes over, you can include 3 months of complimentary coaching. And most people are avoiding doing coaching or taking the time to doing coaching. So the question is, what could be some ways to inspire an agent who's come over to want to do the coaching and commit to doing the coaching and to raise the number of people being coached?
Okay, good. So Sherry is a coach within that company that coaches
Yes,
the people that come over.
correct.
So there's an evangelism conversion that happens from one broker to another broker, first of all. So that's another hurdle. And then once they come over, it's a matter of onboarding them, training them. I would imagine that they would need to undo some things that were not good habits as well, and then getting them set for success. So your question is, maybe agents don't want to pay for the coaching. So that's a good point. Maybe, maybe not. So what you could do is, and I'm going to answer your pricing model in just a second as well. So that's where I was leading to. Is here's two options. You can do you can do a 30-day complimentary coaching for and that's maybe, I don't know how long the onboarding takes. Let's say it's a 30-day onboarding, right? It's going to be quick. I would recommend video course portals so that you can have it evergreen, and then maybe a live weekly group coaching where they can get unstuck after they're doing the portal. So let's say, Gary, just say you're the Sherry. You're Sherry, and I'm the new guy that came from another realtor to another realtor, right?
Yep.
And then you're doing the group coaching right now with Martha and I. And then, okay, week one, let's say there's a 4-week onboarding, and it's week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4. So in the week 1, let's say there's, I don't know, 10 videos, right? So how you get set up. This is how you, get acquainted to the CRM. This is how you get, your buyer list. This is how you, whatever you need to do, right? And then, by the time we get into the group call, you would have expected me to go through week 1 portal. And then you say, how did it go? What how far did you get through? And it shouldn't be how far. It should be like, what questions do you have from going through week 1 portal? And I can do a back check with the system saying, hey, you don't really have any questions because you only gone through 2% of the course portal for week 1. So how can you really have any questions? And then maybe managing expectations, saying, we're doing complimentary coaching and we're offering you access to this for 30 days, but you have to do the work. So managing expectations. And that's before, not after. But I need to course correct if they don't do the work and they say, oh, I had a knee issue, or, we had Thanksgiving or whatever, right? I'm like, well, there are other people who are hungry who are getting the work done with similar issues or worse than you, right? So, maybe it's a 3-strike policy. I don't know. You got to figure it out. And then after the 30 days, let's say you're helping them do amazing work. You can either continue to give them free coaching, or you can say, and manage the expectation after 30 days, this program is normally $10,000 a month. $10,000 a year, right? This is for our group coaching. If you want to make a payment, it's $1,000 a month, okay? If you want to continue with us. Again, the value needs to be justified by the ROI. So let's say it takes them 3 to 6 months to get their ROI back. For some, that might be like, no, I can't do that. I'm cash strapped. I'm out. Right. So you got to figure out what their pain tolerance is, or you need to lower the pricing and say it's not $1,000 a month. It's $97 a month. Right. Or you can say it doesn't. We don't charge you. I don't know if you can do a back end on sales as percentages.
Yeah, I have to recall how they make their money from
Okay.
the coaching, but
So
yes,
figure that out. But is it imperative that is Sherry working for that real estate company, the brokerage that is
yeah,
your client?
yes.
Okay, so then
Yes,
she
she's one of the
needs to.
four leaders that I was working with.
So is the real estate company paying her like a salary or
It,
whatever?
yes, correct. That salary is funded by these coaching clients, in some fashion. Yes.
Oh, so you're saying the people who have been converted, they're paying her something?
Well, it gets paid to the company, and the company would pay her. Yeah, it's not to
Oh,
her
okay.
personally.
So
Yeah,
what is the company charging these new agents? Is it maybe a better question?
yeah, for the coaching, right?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So that's what I need to find out. I don't recall
Oh, okay,
exactly. I
okay.
think it's a certain percentage, or it's that'd be important to know what the
Yeah.
what the investment is for the agent coming over to do the coaching.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's got to be justified. Like if I'm an agent and I'm being asked to be, paying into the system, I'd be like, why would I need to pay? That'd be my first thing, right? But if it's like you get access to the CRM, which you need to pay, X amount of dollars, and that's included, or you would get, 3 times a week group coaching to help you on lead generation, sales, and buyer psychology or whatever, right? Whatever's going to help them.
Well, there
If
is some of that free coaching provided to agents. Yes. Yep.
Okay, so that, and then you can say, what are you getting right now where you are right now at like Remax or whatever, right? Or whatever the company is. They're like, well, we have buyer lists that have been called 7 times. And when we call them, they tell us to, screw off, pardon my French. And then you can say, well, we've got data lead lists that have buyer intent and buyer signals that definitely have not been called more than like 7 times. Whether they've been called by other companies, we don't know that, but our company has not called them yet. So you have a fresh lead list,
Yep. And
right?
they actually do. Yep.
Okay, there you go. So that would be a benefit as to like, well, you're doing everything on your own through Yellow Pages or through Google. We actually have a buyer list with data that has intent for buyer signals and people who have inquired. So that's already worth 25K, right? Or whatever. I'm just making this up. So you got to kind of present it and saying what's the current state of affairs with their pain, and the reason why we're asking you to pay into our brokerage is because we are providing resources, we're providing training, we're providing coaches to help you with clarity and get unstuck and to help you with leads and sales, right? So that would be like, yeah, that's worth it. I can totally pay for that, or I can invest into myself. So that's how I
So
would present that.
it seems like for them, with my help, to create a value stack
Yes,
would be, and I don't think they do that now, would be
100%.
beneficial.
So list out, what are the not the features, what are the benefits? What's the transformation? Sell them the future, and then I would have case studies saying, we had Jay join, 63 days ago, and with the buyer list that he took, he already started doing with his team $150 per day, and they already, closed, $1.2 million in the last 33 days, right? It was 2 homes at 500 and 650,000 or whatever, right? And they've
Okay.
been in a slump. They haven't been able to sell anything for 9 months, and on average they only sell one a year. So they did two in almost just over a month.
Yeah, they're averaging 7 sales per year, the active agents.
Okay,
Um,
okay, so
okay.
that's really good.
So I'd like to begin to wrap up here next five,
Yes,
10 minutes, if that's okay.
yes, yes,
Um, so, so in terms of my sales strategy call with them, so I'm, so to still go into the pain points is what you really emphasized.
yeah. Two things. Number one, it's always about them, not me and what I can offer them. It's about them and it's their pain point. So think of like, and I taught this in the last 2 weeks. It's a doctor framework mindset. It's like you don't really hear a doctor saying, "Did you know that I went to the best university? Do you know that I went to the best medical school? Do you know that I studied 10 years and I did 5 years in special ed?" Like they don't say anything like that. Like you might see like a plaque or whatever on the wall that shows that they're legit, and that's good enough. They say, "Where's the pain? How much does that hurt out of 1 to 10?" Well, I've got four pains doctors, but I said, what's the main one, right? And then just focusing on them and knowing that you're here not to sell them, not to pressure them, not to like, do a scarcity offer thing, even though it might be like if you're a doctor and you only have like one spot left because you have a waiting list of 2 years, and that one spot is only because someone moved, right? And now you literally have an opening. That's how you do scarcity. But in terms of your value stock, it's selling the future of about them, their pain, and how you would prescribe, like you do with your outline, your proposal. Here's what I propose. Here's what we can expect, right? And I would even say like, are you going to be healed? Is it going to be 100% success rate of this surgery? We don't know, but of the people that we've helped, we've seen on average a 16% increase in sales. That's the number that you gave me, right? Or 67% increase in leadership performance. How would that work in your, like, how would that affect your business if you had 112 agents that increased their leadership performance by 67%? Wow, you have an army of leaders now that can build and recruit and have this ripple effect, a multiplier effect, right? A scaling effect.
Yeah.
And then in terms of the pricing model, you said 6 months at 10K or 12 months. So what I would always say is something like, so normally our program to be able to do this at the regular, or the launch, or we call it the regular price. Let's say it's $50,000 for the year, right? But we're doing case study based pricing at the end of the year because we like we like working with you. So what we're doing is a 25K program for the year, okay? Or what we can do is we can do monthly payments, if that works better for you.
So question, I've already did case-based pricing
Case
for
study based
them.
Oh, you did case study based pricing?
Yeah. So, but you don't do it a second time, right? Because they're
You can do it a second time by saying that was a growth package and now this is a scaling package, right? So you've given them growth. Now we want to scale them because we want to take the 112 agents to 500, and that's going to take us at least 3 years. But we want to lock in for 12 months to see, what kind of results we can get. So it's 50K.
So you're recommending 12 months over 6 months.
Always. I would recommend 3 years. But and that's enterprise. So I would say 12 months because you want to be able to say, we're here for the long term. This is not like a short term. It's not a fling, right? We're in a long term relation, and this is a collaboration that we're going to partner with you. I'm going to be and I would brand something like, I'm going to be your chief brand officer. I'm going to be your chief revenue officer. I'm going to be your partner. Unofficial, you don't need to pay me benefits and all those other things because that's where I become the best investment for you guys to be your X factor, right? And legally, I'm not a partner, but you get the benefits of my time and my expertise. So normally it's a 50K program for the year where I come in as a VIP, scaling coach, leadership coach, or whatever you call yourself. And what we're going to do is we're going to do a case study based pricing for the scaling offer, which is normally 50K. So we're only going to charge you 25K for the year, right, to help you do XYZ, which is the pain and selling the future. Or what we can do is we can do monthly payments of only $2,500 a month. And then if they say, well, we don't know if we can lock in for 12 months, I'm like, that's okay. That's okay. I mean, we've been working for 3 months, so all we're asking for the scaling offer is a minimum of 6 because we need at least that amount to give us the runway. So we're talking 6 months at $2,500, or if you want to do a paid in full, it's only $25,000 for the month, which actually saves you 2 months. So you save $5,000. So either way, it's a win-win, and cash flow wise, it gives them an opportunity. So now, if it's really value stacked, they can be like, okay, I like the monthly $2,500 is affordable because Gary has proved himself through and through in 3 months, better than anyone that we worked with. 25,000, because if we do 2,500 times 12, it becomes 30,000, right? And I know that if Gary's good enough, I want to work with you for 12 months. I really do. And if I can save 2 months, which is $5,000 in fees, Let's do this. But the only thing, Gary, is I can't do it up front. Can we do half now and half 6 months from now?
Yeah,
Which is I'll give you.
that's my approach anyways. Half up,
Very
half,
good.
yeah.
So I would say that as a backup, not as a front, because now it sounds like if you bring it to me now, as I give half now, half, I say we can do 25,000 up front, or we can do $2,500 a month, whichever works better for you. And they know that they're saving $5,000. But then I'm like, okay, but I do want to do the 12 month, but I can't put the cash for the entire amount. And then that, as a backup, not as a front loading, instead of you saying you can give half up half front now and half up later, I would say, okay, no worries, we can totally make that work. So why don't we do this? We'll just take half right now, which is, what is that? 25,000 divided by 2. It's 12,500 now. And then on June, or was it June?
Yep.
If we start January, then we'll start July 1st, right? Which is Canada Day, which is perfect. Then we'll take the remainder payment of 12,500.
I mean, I would just probably offer that. That's what they already paid the first time. That's always been my policy.
Yeah.
It's half up front,
Yeah.
halfway
I'm just
through
saying I
the
like
round.
to use it as ammunition, as a backup, versus if we
Okay.
kind of lay our cards up, we have nothing else to give, right? I like to hold my cards closely and say, no worries, we can make that happen. If cash flow is an issue, I'm willing to work with you because I know that we can do great work together. So we're only asking for 12,500 up front, and then 6 months from now, we'll take the remainder. And I'm basically telling them what they want. So it makes it a win-win.
Okay. All right.
Does
Good.
that
Thank
work?
you, sir. This is good. I need to expand my belief system about charging 25,000 for the year.
Yeah, yeah, and more. We'll get to 100, but we'll get there when we get there. You just got to keep building, getting results, and then
Well,
stacking
that's the
those.
thing. I want to make sure I deliver results so they get
Yeah,
a return on this investment.
100%. And I
Yeah.
love your integrity in that. And that's how you grow ethically and scale with amazing results. And then that's when you can charge a premium.
Yeah, the confidence is building. So,
It is. I can see that.
yeah. So, all right.
Okay.
Thank you,
I'll
brother.
send you the
And I
replay. I'll
still,
send you the replay in the group chat, and then
yeah,
you're going to send me the testimonial you
I
submitted.
still owe you a testimony.
Yes.
So, it'll probably be around Christmas when I get it to you because this is my biggest fundraising time. Also, I'm also doing the fundraising, right, for Bible League.
Yep. Yep.
And so on that, are you open to looking at something like supporting persecuted believers, or are you pretty much?
Yeah, you can send me, what is it, a slide deck or something, or
Well, it's just an email with a
yeah,
couple
yeah, send me something.
documents. Let me just tell you. So the goal is to place 144,000 Bibles into the hands of 144,000 persecuted believers around the world. We know the Word of God strengthens their faith so they can stand stronger in the face of persecution. It's $10 for a Bible. It's a matching program. Therefore, every $10 provides not one but two Bibles. So
Amazing.
that's the deal by December 31st.
Lovely.
So
So I gave you
thanks.
my email address in the Zoom chat, and I think you already have
Thanks
it.
for
So
your prayerful consideration on
yeah,
that as I send this to you here next day or two.
and then we can,
Okay.
if you come to the next class, we can even talk about effective ways of, achieving that goal in your ministry.
But next class has the next Tuesday because I don't attend the Thursdays.
Okay, why don't you come to the Thursday just for a time's sake? I'll send you a link for that. Okay.
Okay. And what are your Thursday? What are you covering?
It's sales psychology and AMA, which is Ask Me Anything. So we can look into your ministry goals and see how we can
Okay.
achieve that faster.
Well, that would be amazing because I'm quite behind my peers.
Yep. So let's catch
And
up. And
the
then,
goal is 700,000 this year. That's what we did last year,
yeah.
basically.
So
So
so bring me something prepared if you don't mind, like a slide deck with your presentation, your financial raising goals, and then what you're currently doing, what's worked in the past, and then I'll look at the gaps and say, okay, if we follow these 3 steps in the next, let's say 90 days, then we should be able to hit target or exceed them.
thank you, brother.
Okay?
Appreciate that greatly.
Okay. Blessings, brother.
Okay. Blessings. Thank you.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye bye.